20 years. That's how long Rip Van Winkle slept, missing the entire American Revolution, the birth of a nation, and the death of his own wife, all because of one mysterious drink in the mountains. Washington Irving's tale of Rip Van Winkle first appeared in 1819, capturing America's imagination with its blend of folklore, fantasy, and subtle political commentary. The story follows Rip, a good-natured but unambitious farmer living in a small village at the foot of the Catskill Mountains. He's known throughout the village for his willingness to help neighbors with any task, except his own work. His greatest talent seems to be avoiding his wife's criticism of his idle nature. One autumn day, seeking escape from domestic duties, Rip wanders into the mountains with his dog and trusty gun. There, he encounters mysterious men dressed in old Dutch clothing, playing ninepins and drinking. After joining their game and sampling their drink, Rip falls into his famous sleep. What makes this story particularly fascinating is how Irving weaves together elements of Dutch-American folklore with the rapid social changes of the Revolutionary period. The mysterious men Rip meets are said to be the ghosts of Henry Hudson's crew, bringing an element of New York's colonial history into the supernatural tale. When Rip awakens, everything has changed. His beard has grown a foot long, his gun is rusted, and his dog has vanished. The physical transformations serve as external markers of the passage of time, but they're just the beginning of Rip's shock. The real impact comes when he returns to his village, where he finds every familiar landmark altered, every familiar face aged or gone, and the very political structure of his world transformed from a colonial territory to part of a new nation. Henry Inman's interpretation of this pivotal moment demonstrates why he was considered one of America's leading portrait and genre painters of the early 19th century. This painting showcases his masterful understanding of both technical execution and emotional storytelling. Look at how he handles the play of light across Rip's weathered face, the way shadow and illumination work together to emphasize the character's confusion and vulnerability. The composition itself is carefully orchestrated to draw us into Rip's experience. The figure is positioned slightly off-center, creating a dynamic tension that mirrors Rip's psychological state. Inman's use of atmospheric perspective in the background, where the Catskill Mountains fade into a misty distance, adds both depth and mystery to the scene. The rocks and foliage in the foreground are rendered with careful attention to texture and detail, grounding the supernatural elements of the story in a tangible reality. Particularly noteworthy is Inman's handling of Rip's clothing and physical appearance. The tattered, time-worn fabric of his clothes tells its own story of the passage of time, while the wild growth of his beard and hair visually emphasizes his transformation. The artist's choice of earth tones and muted colors throughout the painting creates a somber mood that underscores the gravity of Rip's situation, while subtle variations in these tones prevent the work from becoming monotonous. The genius of both Irving's story and Inman's painting lies in their layered meanings. On the surface, we have a fantastical role of supernatural sleep, but dig deeper and you'll find a complex commentary on American identity and transformation. The 20-year sleep that Rip experiences spans the crucial period of American independence, roughly from 1766 to 1786, encompassing the entire Revolutionary War and the birth of a new nation. The significance of this timing cannot be overstated. When Rip falls asleep, he's a subject of King George III in a colonial village where the Dutch influence still lingers. The portrait of King George III that hung in the village tavern represents the old order, the colonial system that defined American life. When he awakens, this portrait has been replaced by one of George Washington, symbolizing the fundamental political and social transformation that has occurred. Inman's painting captures not just a moment of personal disorientation, but a nation's transition from colony to independent republic. The wild, unkempt appearance of Rip serves as a metaphor for the untamed potential of the young American nation, while his bewilderment reflects the confusion and adjustment period that followed the Revolution. The Catskill Mountains in the background stand as silent witnesses to this transformation, representing the permanent, unchanging aspects of American identity against which all change occurs. One of the most fascinating aspects of this artwork is how it illustrates the intersection of personal and political transformation. Rip's domestic situation, particularly his relationship with his domineering wife, serves as an allegory for colonial America's relationship with Britain. Dame Van Winkle's constant criticism and control over Rip parallels Britain's increasing control over the colonies, while Rip's escape to the mountains reflects the colony's eventual break from the British authority. Inman's painting subtly reinforces these parallels through its composition and symbolism. The wilderness setting represents both personal freedom and political liberty, while Rip's disheveled state suggests both personal disarray and political upheaval. The artist's decision to capture the moment of awakening is particularly significant. It's not just Rip who's awakening, but America itself, emerging from colonial subordination into national independence. The painting also explores the cost of this transformation. Rip returns to find his wife has died, his friends have passed away or aged, and his children have grown up without him. These personal losses mirror the broader sacrifices made during the Revolutionary period, the breaking of familiar bonds between Britain and America, the loss of lives in the war, and the disruption of established social orders. Inman's painting makes us consider the nature and cost of progress. The 20 years Rip sleeps through represent one of the most transformative periods in American history, the shift from colonial rule to independent nationhood. Yet the painting asks us to consider this progress from the perspective of someone who missed the transformation entirely, highlighting both the achievements and the losses that accompany such dramatic change. The artist captures this ambivalence through subtle details. While Rip's disorientation suggests the disruptive nature of progress, the painting's composition, with its upward-reaching mountains and luminous sky, hints at the possibility of positive transformation. The wilderness setting itself carries dual significance. It represents both the unchanged natural world and the frontier spirit that would come to define American progress. This complex treatment of progress would have resonated with Inman's contemporaries, who were witnessing unprecedented changes in American society. The 1820s saw rapid industrialization, westward expansion, and social transformation. Through Rip's story, the painting offers a space to contemplate both the exhilarating and unsettling aspects of such rapid change. At its heart, this painting succeeds because of its profound humanity. Inman's masterful portrayal of Rip's expression captures a universal human experience, the moment of realizing that the world has moved on without us. The slight parting of his lips, the widened eyes, the tentative posture. These details convey not just shock, but a deeper existential uncertainty. The artist's attention to Rip's hands is particularly telling. Their weathered appearance and uncertain gesture suggest both vulnerability and a reaching towards understanding. The way light falls across his face creates a play of shadow and illumination that mirrors his internal state, caught between darkness and revelation, past and present, sleep and wakefulness. This human element transforms what could have been merely a historical or allegorical painting into something more intimate and relatable. Through Rip's experience, we confront our own fears about time, change, and obsolescence. His story becomes a meditation on human adaptability and resilience in the face of overwhelming transformation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into American art and history, make sure to hit that subscribe button to join our community of art enthusiasts and history lovers. And don't forget to tap that bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video. What would you do if you woke up 20 years in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you be terrified like Rip or excited to explore the new world?